In olden days at the CW network, the framework we had to evaluate the success of a campaign is the same sort of framework that anyone in television did at the time, and that would be Nielsen ratings. Obviously, in the close to two decades that I was there, the landscape shifted incredibly from not just Nielsen over the air ratings, but to digital streaming and streaming audience as well. For CW, success almost always came or was measured in the number of viewers that watched a given show. Now, in the absence of sort of a standard currency for digital, we also were able to take a look and sort of interpret large social followings as a sign of success and a sign of interest in the shows, even if the Nielsen ratings didn't necessarily reflect those numbers. It reflected to us that there were people out there. Nielsen, the smaller the group, the larger the discrepancy Nielsen had in their ratings. So, we went and had a meeting with Twitter one time, and they were like, "Oh my God, like, how are you, like, where are you even putting all the money you're making on Vampire Diaries?" Because if you went by what they could see on their side, it would have been like the number one show with a bullet. The amount of conversation about it, the amount of people talking about it, the amount of people following it made it look like the biggest thing that had ever happened. However, because that was a younger group, because that was a more digital group, that didn't get reflected in Nielsen ratings. So it was sort of, at times, to understand the success of a show was a hodgepodge of different things. Gossip Girl, and again with Riverdale, huge social followings, huge followings in the press, right? Like the media loved these shows and loved to write about these shows. That was a great thing, not just for these shows, but for other shows we put on before or after them, or to just sort of increase the market share of the CW in the world. Sometimes a show that didn't necessarily get the Nielsen ratings that we might have liked to see would still be deemed a success if it was building the brand.